Dominic Keating. I played Lieutenant Malcolm Reed on Enterprise, as you probably know. And you are listening to the NX 7062 podcast. Enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to the NX 7062 podcast. I swear to God, I changed my camera angle, like, without even realizing it, like how it tips. So I always feel like there's, more or less of me on the screen, whatever. Hi, guys! Hi, Robert and Nancy and Word Dog and Dave and Uncle Hairball. Glad to see everybody who viewed the eclipse was smart. Warrior eclipse glasses. I actually dragged my beach chair out of my garage, put it out on my front, put my laptop on my lap. It's one of the joys of working from home. Hey, Roy! One of the joys from working at home. Put the laptop on my lap, and I just worked and just watched the sun disappear. We had a lot of cloud cover, so it was every time the clouds moved, I looked up. I had neighbors coming over borrowing my eclipse glasses. So it was fun. It was nice. It was gorgeous out. So I got to sit outside, do a little work, and watch the sun dip behind the clouds. It's been an interesting week because today's Monday, obviously, because I'm here. The end of last week, I don't honestly remember what day it was, either Thursday or Friday. We had an earthquake. Little one. I guess it was 4 point something. I think I read that somewhere. But here, Philly, I was actually on a Zoom call with my boss, and we were just talking. All of a sudden, he's like, my house is shaking, and he's over the bridge outside of Philly. That's awesome, Nancy. Yeah, we had about the same. We had about like 95%, but it was in and out. You had to wait for the clouds to clear. Oh, Roy, I'm so sorry. So I'm sitting talking to my boss, and he's like, my house is shaking. And I'm thinking, well, that's really weird. And literally like 2 seconds after he said that, my house started shaking and my chair started shaking. And I went, oh, it's an earthquake. And believe it or not, there was one other one in New Jersey a while back. And really, that's interesting. Yeah, it did. It went up the coast. I know people in New York felt it. More than just me in Jersey, parts of PA. My boss didn't believe me. He's like, what do you mean it's an earthquake? I said, it's an earthquake. It's happened before. I lived through it before. In fact, I was literally in the same place. The last time we had an earthquake, I was in the same place, just sitting here in this chair. And the first time it happened, I was like, what the hell? But yeah. And then I'm like messaging all my friends in LA going, we had an earthquake. 20 minutes before the storm in the clouds. Oh, that sucks, War Dog. That sucks. You're like waiting, and then boom. Yeah, I had really good visibility while it was beginning, but right when it was as like the maximum that we were getting, which is like 95%, then the clouds obscured it totally. Sometimes when you looked, if it was just really light cloud cover, it was really cool to see the eclipse and then kind of see the clouds like flowing over it. But when the clouds really rolled in, then you couldn't see a thing. Oh, would help if I muted my phone so I don't get distracted any more than my normal distractions from you all. So I did actually have a topic in mind for tonight's show. And I was actually going to talk to someone about it over the weekend, but unfortunately my weekend plans changed. My mom's friend passed away, and I went with her to Maryland for the funeral. So that took up the entire weekend because it was an overnight trip because she didn't want to do the drive in a day. So instead of spending the weekend talking to people and figuring out what I was going to talk about tonight, we're just doing potpourri. We are here to talk about anything Star Trek. Conditions were great here in Indianapolis. Oh, that's awesome, Dave. I saw you talked earlier about posting pictures. I snuck one picture, and I'll post it at some point. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. I just posted that one cute pic on Instagram of me and my NASA branded shades. I was at Shore Leave. I think it was last year or the year before. And NASA's always got some sort of table at Shore Leave. And the one guy was handing out solar eclipse glasses. I'm like, sure, why not? And I actually put them somewhere where I could lay my hands on them for today. which is really rare for me to be able to find something somebody's given me like a year ago. So anyway, so that is why there's no official topic for tonight, because I didn't have a chance to do the research over the weekend that I was planning on doing, but possibly next week. We'll see if I can get a hold of the people I need to talk to. Anyway, so what is going on? Couple of things I do want to talk about in case you have not seen. Anthony Montgomery has officially announced his the release of his memoirs called, oh my god, all right, Anthony, I apologize. It's Life Track. That's what it's called, Life Track. Can't believe I blanked on that. All right, so this is what we're going to do for Anthony, because he actually, I promised him that I was going to help him promote this, and I've been sitting on this for a while. I had to wait for the official, let's see, hold on. Oops. And I know, guys, I should have done this before. I know I should have done this before the show started, and I forgot. So we're going to do this real quick because I can multitask. Okay, so let's do this, guys. All right, for Anthony Montgomery, for the one and only Anthony Montgomery, is this going to work? There we go. All right, so if you would like, hey, Lasso. Oh, yes, thanks, Lasso. That's right. Lasso helped me out hugely last week. He invited me. He sort of kind of bribed me, but that's okay. Lasso was on a comic book show called 1011, and he said, "Oh, come and I'll give you a shout out." So I showed up, and he gave me a shout out, and his shout out helped me get over the hump, and he got me my 200th subscriber. So thank you, Lasso, and thank you to everybody that that is a subscriber. And Lasso, if you want, because you're a mod for me, so Lasso, if you want, put 1011's channel. Was it Gary? I'm terrible with names, y'all know that. Put his YouTube. That's right, I forgot it. Yes, and you did. You showed a comic book that I got signed for him. A couple years ago, I was working a comic book. I was working a East Coast Comic Con, and they were a very even mix of celebrity and comic book guests. And there were some amazing comic book signers there. And Lasso sent me a whole stack of comic books with who I was supposed to get to sign them. And I got one signed for him. I was supposed to get a George Perez. Unfortunately, George fell ill as he got off the plane in New Jersey, so he could not, he couldn't attend. So, but Lasso, put 1011 or 1011's YouTube ID in the chats for me, please, because I would love it if you guys would. Thank you. That's him, Gary B, the casual comic guy. So please, do him a favor. He is helped me hit 200. So if you guys want to check out his channel and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Back to what I was talking about, Anthony's memoir. So it is being released on August 1st. And you can pre-order it now. Pre-orders close next month. If you pre-order it, you will get an autographed copy. And he is being very generous with what he is, what he's charging. So please, please hit up Anthony's website, pre-order his memoir. Once again, it is titled Life Trek, from Naptown to the red carpet. And like I said, pre-order it, and you can actually get an autographed copy if you pre-order it. Your options are he has both hardcover and paperback. He is going to be doing an audiobook as well. So please go check out Anthony's memoir and buy it. I gotta pre-order my copy in the near future because I obviously need one. I do not know. I'll have to ask him. I don't know if he's bringing any to STLV, but I can ask him and see. And hey, Slack Twaddle. And if he is, I will let y'all know. Because that would be a great place to get it signed and maybe personalized a little more. I actually have his autograph already. I think I showed you guys, I have his autograph on an Eagle Moss NX01. And the only time I took it out of the box was to get him to autograph it. And then I slipped it right back in. So yeah, I can't wait to read it. He was talking about it on Trek Talks 2. When he did Trek Talks 2, he was talking about it. And yeah, I can't wait to read it. I still have to sit down and read JG's as well. I've got JG's waiting for me. I've just been so bad about reading lately. But one of these days I'm going to curl up with not a hot cup of Earl Grey, because I actually do not like Earl Grey tea, but I will curl up with a hot cup of something. And Ractigino maybe, and start reading JG's so that I can get it done, and then read Anthony's. And here's the great part about this. Here's the great part. Anthony and I have been talking, and he wants to come on the show, but he wants to come on the show when it's time to talk about the memoir. So y'all know that some point next month I'm going to go on my summer hiatus, but I'm hoping that one of the first shows that I'll be having when I come back from hiatus is going to be Anthony, so that we can talk about it, because it is being released on August 1st, which is, as most of you know, or if you don't, you will now, it's my birthday. So I'm really excited that he's releasing it on my birthday, and it's also the first day of STLV. So yeah, I will check in with Anthony and see if he's planning on bringing any to STLV, or if you want an autographed copy, if you need to order it, because books are heavy. JG has been telling me, it's like, it's a really great idea and amazing for the fans if you bring your book to a convention, but by the same token, it's so freaking heavy, and you've got 50 pounds to get on you got that 50-pound maximum to get on a plane. So it's not as easy as one might think unless they can get them shipped. And that's exciting about Doug Drexler. That's awesome. Rory says Doug's is coming out soon too. So I'm just really excited. I mean, I've been waiting over a year to hear, about when Anthony's is coming out. So please feel free to scan the QR code and get yourself a copy of Anthony's autobiography. And if they ask you where you heard about it, well, tell them NX7062. It'll help convince him to come on the show, right? So I wanted to talk about that. I also wanted to talk to you guys about conventions, just casually, like who's doing what this summer. I mean, we all know STLV. Don't forget, Long Island Trek is coming up. It's a little later this year than it was last year. It's May 31st. June 1st and 2nd, and they've got some fantastic programming. They've got Heather Wood. She is a drag queen I used to work with at Lambda Quadrant. She's going to be doing a show. They're having a whole big Friday thing. It's not full-on convention Friday. It's just a lot of specialty programming for Friday night. They've got some really neat people going. People that you wouldn't necessarily, see. Like, it's just amazing, their guest list. I'm not sure if Stephanie's done, because she's been sneaking some people in. I'm really excited about Armin Shimmerman. I have yet to meet Armin. Melissa Navia from Strange New Worlds. I was on the picket line with her for United We Trek. I didn't say anything to her because you have to, it was really important that you respect that. If you're on the picket line and they're celebrities, this isn't selfie time. We're here to picket. So I didn't talk to Melissa because I was respecting that we were all there to picket. Gabrielle Ruiz from Lower Decks is going to be there. The one and only Chase Masterson is going to be there. And as we all know, everywhere she goes, she brings the Be Kind with her. Yatid, I'm going to massacre this. Baraki, who was in Strange New Worlds. Ethan Phillips. I mentioned to Stephanie that she should see if she could get Ethan to do some stand-up, because anybody that knows anything about Ethan Phillips, who's ever seen any sort of Rat Pack, knows that Ethan loves to do his comedy. It's always blue. It's always hysterical. And if you get the Rat Pack, CD, there's 3 or 4 comedy breaks where it's just Ethan telling jokes. So I think they're working on Ethan doing some stand-up. They've got Tara Rosling from Discovery, and of course, Where Goes Armin? Of course, the beautiful and lovely Kitty Swink is going as well. They just announced this guy, Eliza to fix. I'm not even gonna try. He was La'ak in Star Trek Discovery and is a popular character in video games and animation. The one, the only JG Hertzler is going to be there, and I will be accompanying JG as I did last year. This is somebody else I'm really excited about. Janet Kidder is going to be there. Janet, we all know as, see, I'm going to screw up her name again. Osira, there we go. Osira, oops. Osira in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. Was it 2? 3. Sorry, season 3 of Star Trek Discovery. She was Osira. And you know what? Loved the character. Loved the whole boss bitch, Orion syndicate leader. She's Margot Kidder's freaking niece. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited that that's my connection. That's like a very tangible connection to Superman. So that's what I'm really excited about. Let's see. And then they've got Catherine Lee Scott, who's an actor and author. They've just got some amazing some just amazing guests coming and the one and only Bonnie Gordon's going to be there. I always love hanging out with Bonnie. So that's yes, I love that. She is my Lois Lane. I love that Lois Lane too. I like Amy Adams. I think she's a fantastic actress. I thought she was a shit Lois Lane. Sorry. Loved Henry Cavill as Superman, but she was a terrible Lois Lane. And for those of you that don't know, the writer is completely frigged up in Justice League because they had Lois Lane calling Superman Clark in the middle of a crowded square twice. I think in the extended version, it was 3 times that she called him Clark in front of a bunch of people that had no idea that he was Clark Kent. So that pissed me off. That wasn't her fault. That was bad writing. But I did not like her Lois Lane. I thought she would have been a good Lana Lang. Yes, the red hair, but I just think she's more of a Lana Lang than she is a Lois Lane. Yes, Bonnie is fantastic. I love Bonnie. I love Bonnie to bits and pieces. And I can't wait to I always love seeing her. I saw her in San Fran, and every time I get to see her, it's never enough because she's on the go so much that she doesn't do like extra time anywhere. It's like she's in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's hard to the longest we spent we've spent together was actually last year at Trek Long Island because her flight was was a red eye. So Sunday night she was just hanging out until she had to leave, and I wasn't leaving until Monday morning, so we had some time. So we got one of my favorite lines, Uncle Hairball. You've got me, who's got you? Statistically speaking, flying is the safest form of travel. Oh, wait, hold on. The whole line is on that. Well, I hope this has not put you off of flying. Miss, statistically speaking, flying is the safest part of travel. But actually, before you've got me, who's got you? Hey, Jim, that's a bad outfit is one of my other favorite lines. I could sit here all day. I could do this all day. Sit here and quote Superman. I could do this all day. My favorite Lucy Lane is the one and only Helen Slater, who is actually going to be at Chiller, which is a biannual event here in Central Jersey. It's a great show, but they pack it. They always in my opinion, they always overpack it with celebrities, and it's just so hard to get anywhere and see anybody. The last time I did Chiller was because my land of Lucy Lane. I was thinking, sorry, Lasso. Thought that was a trick question. I was thinking Linda Lee instead of Lucy Lane. I do not have a favorite Lucy Lane. Okay, is that the correct answer? Okay. Correct answer is Maureen Teefy is your favorite Lucy Lane. I'm assuming that was in Helen Slater's Supergirl movie. I was thinking Linda Lee. All these alliterations. Lana Lang, Lois Lane, Lucy Lane, Linda Lee. It's as bad as Stan Lee. Have anybody actually sat down and looked at all the Lasso, you're going to explain it. Go for it, Lasso. This is Potpourri. We are talking about whatever the heck we want. So go for it, Lasso. Somehow I need to get this back to Star Trek. Oh my God. Now that you've said that, Lasso, she was Sharon in Grease 2. There you go. See? So all I needed was a little hint. Anybody that's ever watched Grease 2. All right, wait. Okay. Let's see if I can get Grease 2 and bring it back to Star Trek. Hold on. You guys got to give it to me. Yeah, see, I told you. It just took me a second. Now that you've said that, now I realize they're the same actor. All right, hold on. There's got to be a way to get Grease 2 back to Star Trek. Let's see. Maxwell Caulfield, Michelle Pfeiffer, Adrian Zemed. Adrian Zemed was the lead in Grease 2, and he worked on TJ Hooker with the one and only William Shatner. Grease 2 to Star Trek. In one. Adrian Zemed did it in one. Ta-da! Okay. Grease 2 is a very fun movie. Anybody that's never seen it, you should totally watch it. Michelle Pfeiffer will never talk about it, but it's definitely fun. And just for Lasso, did karaoke in Las Vegas last year, and they actually had some Grease 2 stuff. So I actually sang a Grease 2 song and taped it for Lasso. Anyway, so yeah, that's not bad. One. Okay. So yeah, let's see. I just brought it all back. Okay. So that is Trek Long Island, second year. If you can make it to Hop Hog, it's fantastic. JG and I are going to be there. It's going to be a boatload of fun. It's a really well put together convention, and the auction that she does last year, it was for to raise money to buy books for a blind library. Sorry, brain late, tired. And this year, since Chase is going to be there, the auction is going to go 100% of the auction proceeds go to Pop Culture Hero Coalition. So I can't wait. The other really awesome summer thing besides Star Trek Las Vegas, this is for somebody that can't afford to do Las Vegas, isn't interested in doing Las Vegas because it's so big. If you want to do small, intimate, and Star Trek, you cannot go wrong with Shore Leave. It's fantastic. I've worked with them for years. This year, they're in a new home because the hotel that they normally have the convention in closed. So they are moving from Maryland to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And the dates for Shore Leave this year have also changed, unfortunately, because it's now July 26th through the 28th. So I am looking at how I could possibly do both Shore Leave and Las Vegas, because I usually leave for Las Vegas that weekend. But that doesn't mean that I can't change my plans. But Greg Grunberg is going to be there. And I mean, who doesn't know Greg Grunberg from all the Star Wars sequels, from the J.J. Abrams, from Star Trek Beyond. Let's see who else. D.B. Woodside and Leslie Ann Brandt from Lucifer are going to be there. The one and only Robin Curtis is going to be there. Barbara Luna, who I adore, who is a ton of fun, who was Marlena. She was Marlena in the Mirror Universe, TOS. She was in Buck Rogers as Corey, which is where I knew her from more. Todd Stashwick. Freaking Todd Stashwick is going to be here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Todd Stashwick is great. You can go talk to him about coffee. Well, hello, JR. Oh, there you go. JJ's friend. You know him from Alias. There you go. There you go. DB Woodside's going to be there. I love DB Woodside. I've known about him since Buffy. Love DB Woodside. Yeah, it does. It runs. There are some great summer cons, Dave. You're absolutely right. And yeah, it does. It runs right into STLV. That doesn't mean I can't change my plans. I just haven't decided. I haven't 100% decided either way, because I love working Shore Leave. I get to be a handler. It's hello, JR. I love being a handler. It's how I got to be friends with Peter Macon, because I spent 3 fantastic days working with him, and I showed him how to use Square. So he loves me because I said, yeah, you need Square. If you want to sell your artwork, you need Square. And I was right. And it helped him immensely. So yes. Speaking of the one and only Peter Macon, 4th season of Orville. It is official. It's gotten greenlit. It is moving ahead. So now it is the countdown to the 4th season of the Orville. Timing couldn't be better. It's like we lose Discovery, but we're gaining more Orville. How could that not be bad? How could that not be good news? I am so excited. JR, are you sneaking over here from the 7th rule? Is that why everybody's saying hi to you again? Are you sneaking over here? Is it I'm doing my 7th rule after party thing because the 7th rule's wrapping. It's 20 after 10. The 7th rule's wrapping up. They wrapped up at like 20 after, right? So now I get everybody to come over. Need to get Sirach to come over. I want to get Sirach on because I want him to talk about what's going on in Connecticut, what he's doing in Stanford. I can't wait to hear all about that. And I want to get you guys the skinny and let you guys all ask him questions and stuff. So I want to see if I can talk Sirach into coming on. I will bug him until he says yes or no. And if I have to bug him in Vegas, I will bug him in Vegas as well. Still trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to do a booth all by my lonesome in Vegas. But what I'm thinking for the booth, what I really want to do for the booth is set it up with my little camera and everything and see if I could just spend 4 days hanging out, meeting people, handing out buttons, and just doing like quickie interviews, like just doing a bunch of live stuff, just sitting in my booth. What is killer? That is killer news. Yes. Yes, it absolutely is. It's killer news. Orville is season 4. Yep, that's the other thing. That's another goal is to get some other Orville people on here so we can start talking to them and asking them questions they can't answer about season 4. Isn't that always the fun? Is like, come on my show and tell everybody you can't tell them anything about your new season. Hi, Ed. How are you? Good to see you. Been a bit. Or should I say it's been a bit since I've seen you in the chat. That doesn't mean that you haven't been hanging out. Somebody was it last week? Somebody said hi. I'm like, oh, look, a new person. And they're like, no, I've been here. This is just the first time I've chatted. So, Ed, it is so good to see you. Live from your booth. Yes, exactly. Live from my booth. It's just a matter of actually getting the booth. Oh, Ed, that's great. That's great. Like I said, we had 95% and I got to see it in bits and pieces. I got to see it happening. And then when it was full coverage is when our clouds set in. So that was pretty sad. But yep. So the idea for Vegas is booth. Have to get some more patrons or something to get the booth. But yeah, I would love to do that live from my booth. And then if I can get some people to commit to stopping, some actors or something to commit to stopping by for 5 minutes, and I can give you guys warnings like, oh, I'm going to have Sirach stop by at, 10:30 Vegas time. Be sure to be on the lookout. Oh, thanks, Ed. Oh, War Dog. That's so nice. I'm just, okay. This is so everybody can hate Wesley. I love Wesley Orr. We all know how much I adore Wesley Orr. Up until today, when he posted on Facebook that Puerto Vallarta was getting, I think he said they were getting the full eclipse, and he was on I'm gonna say it, he was on a fucking yacht, and I'm like, love it, jealous. So yeah, I don't know how much. Man, Wesley, that's the life, being able to lay on a yacht and wait for the eclipse. Live from my booth, it's Trekker Day night. You know what? I would totally make that as a sign to put on my booth. Like when we were going live, that would be awesome. Maybe get a little red light, like they have in the studios when the red light's on top of the camera, you're live or something. I think you could probably get, or like a little on air sign, and I could turn it on and be like on air. The first time that I interviewed Dominic and Connor, full on interviews, was when we were at STLV, and it was fantastic. I had so much fun. And I was sitting between them at their table, and I just had my tape recorder out, and I was asking them questions. So it wasn't really obvious because I was just sitting there having a conversation with them, and my phone was just sitting on the table recording the entire thing. And somebody came up and tried to talk to them, and Dominic's like, go away, we're doing something. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, you really need I need a little on-air sign or something that I can turn on when people start walking by the booth if I've got somebody that I'm interviewing. That would be a really good idea. Oh, and just rub it in. One cloud. You have no idea. It got so dark and cloudy here right at the height of everything. But like I said, I'm glad you got to see it. But yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Like a little battery powered on air thing and just stick it on the front of the booth. Yeah, I like it. The other really cool thing I think I'm going to do is I want to get one of those dot bracelets. It's like literally like having a business card on your wrist and people just scan it to get your information. That way you're not handing out business cards and they don't lose it. For my CB, it lights up when I key the mic. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, we used to have that. I used to work at a radio station. Like, and it was actually had each of the studios had that light outside the door that when you went live on the air, the minute the mic was hot, the light on the outside of the studio door lit up. So yes, I am that old. I worked on terrestrial radio in the 90s. Was one of the highlights. I mean, I'm here because I love doing it, but yeah, that was one of the highlights of my my career was doing live radio. It started out as adult contemporary, and then we switched to oldies, which made me happier because I was more about the oldies than adult contemporary. So yeah, we had one of those lights. It's really cool, but I need to get something like that for the booth. That's a really good idea, the guys. I'll put that on the shopping list. Probably get off of Temu. We just won't know if it works until it shows up. 99% of the stuff I get from Temu I like. I did get a disk drive that doesn't work, but it was like $8. Oh, and by the way, this is like a really cool shirt. This is one of the only things I will own that has Matt Smith on it. But this is like a Beatles Abbey Road with Doctor Who. And it starts with, wait, where is he? It starts with Eccleston. So it does Eccleston, Tennant, Matt Smith, and then Peter Capaldi. This and one other, I only have one other thing with Matt Smith on it. It's because it's the 50th anniversary t-shirt that I got, but it has David Tennant on it. Speaking of which, I know this is an aside, but did you guys see that on April Fool's Day, they posted something about Matt Smith was taking over like 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go, JR. Matt Smith was going to take over from the new guy. The new guy was going to leave after the second season. And Matt Smith, and people were believing it. And everybody's like, look at the date. Look at the date. TV, and it was my plan to go into the rural Indiana, Bright, Indiana. Oh, well, that was awesome. Okay, so Cincinnati to visit friends. I met at STL. That's so awesome that you just go around. That's so cool, Ed, that you just like, hey, I mean, I met my best friend at STLV, and the only time we get to see each other for the most part is when we're both at STLV. She hasn't been able to go the last couple of years, but this year's looking good, guys. So anybody that is going to be at STLV this year will actually get to meet my best friend, Wendy, because she's actually going to be there. So, because she hasn't really been there since I really started ramping up the whole podcast thing. So that'd be cool. She's awesome. So like we used to talk almost every day on the phone until my work situation changed and her work situation changed. But yeah, I met her at STLV and some other really amazing people. You do meet the most amazing people at STLV. You really do. Which is why I keep going back, because it's a big old family reunion. And now I've got a friend that actually lives in Vegas, which is even cooler because that means last year, Mickey drove me around. I was totally spoiled because I actually didn't have to Uber anywhere. Mickey's like, you want to go? Let's go. And we drove all over the place. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We didn't get to spend a lot of time together last year. I know we bumped into each other at a couple of shuttle pod show things, but yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to. Come by my table if I have one. You can come by my booth if I have one. I'll interview you, Ed. I mean, I would totally, I would, Slack Twaddle. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Slack Twaddle. It's always good to see you. It's always good to see you. So now that I lost my train of thought, which I mean, we all know always happens here anyway. So yeah, so it'll be nice to do STLV as just my show and sitting down and talking to people and having a fan interview session, I think would be really fantastic. Just sitting down and talking to people. Maybe drag Dave Zappone from 455 Films over and convince him that, you know, it is important that he get in front of the camera instead of hiding behind it. Met with STLV Trek Group. I joined. This was a... Yep. So anyway, so if you guys don't have anything more to add to my Trek potpourri, then I think this is a good place to kind of put the brakes on for the night. Like I said, I'm going to work on the topic I had in mind for tonight. I will work on it for next week. Don't forget, click on Anthony's memoir. Click on the link. I can see actually how many people have. 3 people have clicked on the link. So if you want an autographed copy, pre-order Anthony's memoir. There's a time limit. He's actually going to stop. He's actually going to stop. Wait, the pre-orders are stopping. Anthony, come on. I know I saw it somewhere. There's a deadline. The pre-orders, I think, are ending in May. I can't be 100% sure, but the pre-orders, I think, are ending in May. But there are plenty of ways to buy his book off of his website, pre-order it, and get an autographed copy. It'll be awesome. I know I saw that somewhere too, that if you order it now, you get an autographed copy. Maybe that was on his Instagram. Check out my Instagram. I shared that post too. Check out my Instagram stories. Thank you, War Dog. Yeah, it's on now. It's pre-order now, but I think it's going to stop. I think the pre-orders are going to stop. They're not taking them up to when it's going live. Oh, Robert. I'm sorry. Yeah, STLV is not. Thank you. Somebody else. Oh, look at that. Other people are clicking away. That's awesome. So yeah, it is expensive. It's I save and scrimp and you know, and I have a roommate, and my birthday's August 1st, so I'm always telling my parents, don't do anything for my birthday but send me to Vegas. Like, whatever you can do to help me get to Vegas, please do it. So yeah, I get it, Robert. I hope you find one. I mean, you know, maybe the other Klingons that want to go, because I mean, you guys are amazing when you do all that cosplay. So thank you for using the link, War Dog. Like I said, it is on pre-order now, up until maybe May. I don't know. I thought I saw a deadline on it somewhere. Yes, that is the other thing. Thank you for reminding me, Ed. Creation has announced some regional conventions. They finally figured out Chicago. So they've got Nashville sorted. Nashville's in September, and that's the one that already has guests listed. And I don't know, maybe go down and tour the municipal building again. What do you think, Lasso? I wouldn't mind heading back down to I miss Nashville. I really do. I miss Nashville. I used to go there. I think I told you guys I used to go there all the time. Yep, Trek to Nashville, September 13th to the 15th. It actually has an active website that's up, listing already Sneeko Martin Green and Doug Jones. I think I saw Connor and Dominic. They've got Bonnie, they've got Anthony Rapp, they've got Casey, Connor, Dominic, Sirac, Don Lewis, Ethan Phillips, Max Grodenchek, Ryan Husk. Oh, that's great. Maybe Ryan and Bonnie are going to be co-hosting it again. They were fantastic in San Francisco. And I know a lot of people wanted them to keep doing it. So that's regional. And then Jersey is November 8th, 9th, and 10th. That still doesn't have a website yet. It's annoying when Creation doesn't have a website up. And Chicago is September 27th. That also does not have a website. But that's September 28th, 29th. I've told no, the Nashville show is actually out by the airport. The airport that we love and know so well, right, Lasso? Oh, there you go. Bake sale. There you go. That's what we should all do. We should do bake sales. Loving Chicago and Nashville coming. Yeah, I would love to do all of them. Yep, total eclipse of the heart. When I posted my Insta picture with me in my solar eclipse sunglasses or whatever you want to call them, I actually used total eclipse of the heart as the background music. They just released Nashville Deets this weekend. Yep. So hopefully the others will be rolling out. Thank you, Embassy Suites. I knew it was by the airport. Thanks, Dave. Embassy Suites by the airport. The airport is a very quick cab ride to downtown for anybody that has never been to Nashville. I highly recommend going early and at least spending a little bit of time on Broadway in Nashville. The municipal building is not, in fact, on Broadway. It is on the other side of town. But yeah, Nashville's fantastic. It's great. It's a little city. It's little. I've said this before. It's so cute. It's a cute little city. Love Nashville. But Broadway's a great place to go, especially if you're a country music fan. You can just walk up and down Broadway, and every bar has got different bands that are looking to, break into country music. And then there's this one really great bar on a corner. Lasso, help me out. It's that 3-story one that I only went to once because the country music artist I was working with had a show on like the 3rd floor. Gosh darn it. Lasso, I can't remember the name of it. You know the one I'm talking about. It's on the corner. It's 3 stories. You know it, Lasso. If you think of it before the end of the show, post it because it's going to drive me crazy. But yeah, Nashville's fantastic. But Chicago, I'm working at because anybody that goes to, if I go to Chicago, I'm going to get a table. This is my new thing. If I go to anything creation, I think I'm going to work on getting tables at all of them. If I go to Chicago and I get a table, I'm trying to talk Lasso. Maybe it's the stage. I don't know. Is that the 3? It's the 3-story one. I always thought it started with an R, but maybe it is the stage bar. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, they do have a Coyote Ugly on one of the side streets in case you're like into the movie, and they do dance on the bar. But I want to go to Chicago. If I do Chicago, I'm going to try and get Lasso to come and work my table with me. I don't know if it'll work, but free room and board in Chicago, Lasso, and come work my table. I'll get you a wristband. You get 2 wristbands per table. So I would love to have you sitting at the table with me and just being immersed in all things Star Trek for a weekend. Yeah, I want you in Chicago. Haha, I want you in Chicago. But that would be awesome. I would love to hang out with you. I haven't seen Lasso since I stopped working in country music, so I want Lasso to come to Chicago. That's on my wish list. So Chicago's definitely on my list. Obviously, there's one in New Jersey. It's North Jersey. I'm going to do that one. Obviously, it's only about an hour from my house, hour and a half. And Nashville would have to be one of those, oh my God, I hit the lottery. I'm going to go to Nashville. Because I don't know anybody in Nashville that could put me up. If I knew people where I could stay, that's a different story. But I don't know. I don't have any friends that live in Nashville that I could ask. I know I have like 1 or 2 contacts, but not well enough that I could just like message them tomorrow and be like, listen, I'm going to be in Nashville. Could you come? I can actually drive to Nashville from here. It's only 12 hours, but it's not terrible. All right, guys. So the summer is full of conventions. Like I said, Shore Leave and Trek Long Island and STLV are the top 3 on my list. Of course, there's other ones, San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, but that would be really cool to do that one of these days. But if you can get to any of the smaller conventions, if you can get to either Shore Leave or Trek Long Island, I highly recommend it. They're both fantastic. They both deserve as much support as they can. Trek Long Island has only been around. This is only its 2nd year, so they could really use the support because they're fantastic, and I would love to see them continue in the future. Shore Leave's in its 44th year. And let's go support them in their new home in Lancaster. And maybe next year they will find better dates that suit me because it's always all about me. So not in Montana yet. If they did one in Bozeman as a first contact thing, that would be totally valid. Yes, it would be. I've actually been to Bozeman, Montana one time. Stopped for breakfast on a road trip. Wasn't really impressed with the cafe, but that does not. And I know Bozeman has a bowling alley. Besides that, do not know much about Bozeman, but I would totally go if there was a convention. See, and what's really funny is, I mean, and Word Dog, you can totally correct me, but it seems like out of all the towns across the US that have some connection to Star Trek for some reason, and they play into it, birthplace of Janeway, future home of Captain Kirk, Vulcan, the city of Vulcan in Canada, they all play into their Star Trek connection. Bozeman, didn't see one thing Trek related in Bozeman. Okay, it is okay, so it's a college town, but the Road Trek convention would max it out. Yep. Yeah, it's tiny. It's a blip. It's a blip on the highway, but when you road trip from Seattle to Kentucky, and Wendy was like, "Where do you want to go?" I literally sat down with Google Maps and went, "Well, there's a couple different ways that we could do this, but one of them takes us through Bozeman, so we're going." We didn't have to. Thank goodness she's also a Trek fan, obviously. So that's how Bozeman got on our radar as we skinny. That and the Superman Museum. I did go to the Superman Museum as well because we were driving past that and have to go to the Superman Museum. All right, guys. I think that's a wrap on tonight. I always love just babbling at you, and I always love the fact that you allow me to babble at you. I could not do this without you. Thank you, everybody that scanned the QR code to pick up some copies of Anthony's. Oh, there you go. Snagging. I love Amtrak. I love Amtrak. Jump in an Amtrak and head over. Yes, that's right. The Superman statue had eclipse glasses on today. So yes, thank you for scanning the QR code. Thanks. Thanks, Nancy. Yes, it is one of my it's definitely one of my skills. So might as well put it to use, right? Please scan them. I'll have it in the coming weeks, of course, if you didn't get it tonight or if you're only thinking about it. Otherwise, you just go to anthonymontgomery.com and get it. It's so easy. Just go pick it up. Guys, thanks as always for hanging out with me. Yes, trains are great. I've done them. Absolutely recommend them. Yes, and cut. That is a wrap on Babbling Trek. And guys, until next week. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna blow this. See, I'm trying to figure out a way to work in my new tagline. Until next week, guys, I hope to see you around the galaxy.
You've been listening to the NX7062 podcast with Stephanie. Enjoy your